Hey everybody, Ashley Page here. Thank you so much for joining us on our educational vlog today. For those of you all who are new to the educational vlog, what we try to do late in the week for you is do a deeper dive on one single topic to help your knowledge with money and markets, sort of build your library as it were. And we do that in compare and contrast to our Monday morning vlog that the guys on the portfolio team do that sort of give you the major financial things to look for that week. But with the educational vlog, we like to go a little bit deeper on one subject to help you understand it better. So we think we have an interesting one for you today. And the title of our educational vlog is A First Sneak Peek at Markets in 2022. We're going to pose 5 questions for you here, the answers of which are going to tell us a lot about how the year unfolds. Now, 5 is not a complete list, there are more, but these are 5 major ones that we feel like we're asking ourselves these questions here. We wanted to share those with you to track to see how these come out. So we're going to put the 5 up for you one at a time and give you some further explanation of each. So question number 1 in 2022. What will be the political decisions that the major economies around the world will make? What are the political decisions? That's the United States, that's China, that's Eurozone, Japan, on and on. You get the idea. And I think we'd all agree that politics as an overhang always has something to do with markets. It has in the past, it will in the future, it does now. But particularly right now, I think we would all agree we've got a lot going on, both in the United States politically and China specifically. You know, in the United States, think about it, you've got debt ceiling coming up, you've got stimulus coming up, you've got infrastructure coming up. Mark Hume here in our office did a great job on kind of what they were looking at with capital gains. I refer that vlog to you, it's really good. He and Greg did that. So we have a lot coming up right now, not only in the United States, but China does too. You know, they're going back through a commercial real estate problem that is similar yet different to what they had in 2008. And a lot of the political decisions they're going to be making is how to handle this commercial real estate problem that's also a little bit more of a bubble. So what we have in the political environment, kind of a lot collapsed at once. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, eventually in 2022, how many decisions get solved? How many decisions are on the table? There's just a lot compressed in the political environment. So that's question number 1. Question number 2, will the supply chain and labor shortages last well into the year? Our feeling is you're going to see a good bit of that through the first part of 2022 anyway. And you've seen a lot on the supply chain issue and labor shortages, but let us boil it down to this for you. The major reason that both of these are a problem right now is that there's no one single fix to any of them. The supply chain problems is sort of many things going on at one time. The labor problem is many things going on one time. On the supply side, we'll tell you, if you go back and look at COVID, you know, you purchase services and goods with your money. They're kind of even normally, but what COVID did is it did this. It made the purchases of goods through the supply chain where you could still order those online. It made the purchase of goods really ramp up versus the services, which are things like going to see your doctor, going to see your dentist. What were you doing? You weren't going into offices, you were putting those things off. So the seesaw, if you will, went this way on goods during COVID, and that's what strained the supply chain. Also, we'll recommend to you a vlog that I did about a month ago. If you look it up in the library, it's called Supply Disruptions. And if you go back and look at that vlog, you'll see there's so many different things that are causing the supply issue right now. Same is true on the labor shortage side. There was a lot of short term that came up with COVID, but the thing that we want you to know is too, there are longer term issues with that too. Aging population is still with us. Trey Booth in our office has wonderful command of what is going on with markets and how that impacts with an aging demographic. The other thing I've noticed a little bit, for example, I'm 63. A lot of friends of mine, kind of COVID driven, they're retiring early. Some of them were senior management and owner managed business companies. They were going to pass that down to their children, maybe in about 5 or 10 years off. And they're kind of going, you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and do it now. So you see a lot of people my age, that 63, 64, 65 range, underneath all the short-term labor shortage that's going on. There are longer-term issues that are causing that. Also, too, you're starting to see more strikes. A lot of people who are at work feel like that they have more leverage right now on these manufacturers. So I was looking at it the other day, and I think I've heard more about strikes in the last 3 or 4 days than I heard the prior 3 or 4 years. So there's a lot to unravel still going into 2022 with both supply and labor shortage. So that's number 2. I think you're going to see that problem because it's got so many solutions to it on both sides. I think you're going to go deeper into the year and have that be an issue. That's number 2. Question number 3, and here's kind of a good problem to have. Does global demand in 2022 remain high? I think you're certainly going to see that it does. Several reasons for that. One is our savings rate through COVID went up quite a bit. So you've got a lot more people that have got money on the sidelines still to spend because of their savings. The stimulus money is still, from a multiplier effect, working its way into the system. The interesting thing we want you to know about that is that when we came out of the backside of the 2008 financial crisis, demand for goods was a real problem. And if you remember, it took quite a while to get our economy normalized, and demand from that was the problem. We do not have a demand problem right now. There's plenty of consumer spending on demand. That's another thing, of course, that's exacerbating the supply chain problems. You're just putting more stress on it because people have got money to spend. So we think in the good news side, that demand remains strong in 2022 like it is now. So that's number 3. Number 4, from an economic perspective, the harder issues on the backside of COVID to solve. The question is in 2022, how effective are we going to be? Now, let me tell you what we mean by that. When COVID started to moderate a little bit and the economy started to roar back in 2021, we'll have a good growth year that year, primarily because of the rebound. But mostly what we solved with the economic recovery from COVID on the backside of it early is what we would call here the low-hanging fruit, the easy stuff to do. Some examples of that would be opening a restaurant back up, opening a concert or theater venue back up, or since we're in the South and it's football season, when you're looking at an Alabama game or an Auburn game, the stadiums are pretty full. So we've been able to take the easier part of solving things like that where consumer dollars are being spent. Now in 2022, what we want you to know, the remaining problem we have with COVID, it's the hard part. It's things like the nation of India being offline as long as they've been from a supply point of view. Those are deeper, more involved problems. Those are the ones that are left. Again, to coin a football analogy, in 2021, we moved the ball between the 20s, and that's a lot easier. Now with what's remaining with COVID recovery, we're in the so-called red zone, 20 yards into the end zone. That's always harder yardage to get. Same thing here with the COVID recovery. This is harder yardage to get in 2022. So the other question will be in 2022, what kind of job do we do on the harder things that are left? Number 5, and you've seen a lot of this too, how quickly does inflation moderate? We saw a lot of it back during the summer that, again, like with COVID, because of the supply problem, people were paying more for goods just to get it. So that sort of embedded more of a short-term problem. But the difference is now we've got an energy cross rise that's sort of putting a floor under that's making inflation a little more long-term. If you think back to Columbus Day, a couple of Mondays ago, a barrel of oil crossed the $80 per barrel price for the first time in 7 years. So that is really a pop-up in the energy prices. And we've said it many times, it's in the immediate, what you're paying at the pump, but it's also long term that pretty much anything shipped to you needs it. And there are a lot of components. Pretty much looking around my office, there's some petrochem and component in about everything I've got in here, from the plastic on the telephone to the computer, and you understand the point. So how the energy situation begins to moderate in 2022 is also going to tell us a lot. So those are your 5 questions that, again, are not all of the questions, but they are some really important ones. The answer to those is really going to drive how 2022 comes out, and how it compares in growth in 2022, how much GDP is up worldwide versus 2021. So focus on those 5, looking ahead in the crystal ball, because they're going to tell us a lot. So we always enjoy doing this for you. We hope that information is interesting and helpful to you. As always, we love to hear from you on any social media platform we have popped up here. But we love it too when you just use the good old-fashioned way and call us on the phone or swing by here at the office at 5 p.m. We love seeing you. I'll also end by thanking everybody that's hearing us. You all have done such a nice job of asking us questions back from the educational vlog, but more importantly, you're forwarding it to others. So I wanted to tell you that all of us here at 5 Plan greatly appreciate it, because we love doing these for you. And that shows us that you're getting some good out of it, which we really enjoy giving to you. So other than that, I hope you have a great rest of the week, and we will look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much.